Um, the final one, the most important research for you is whether the salary, the expected salary that you have in mind kan, fits your punya lifestyle punya upkeep. So let's say you fresh grad, lepas tu you tinggal dekat tempat mahal. Let's say dekat mana mahal? PJ Subang Jaya kira mahal ke? Aku rasa kira mahal lah kan? Bangsa mahal. Okay, Bangsa memang mahal. You nak sewa dekat Bangsa, sewa maybe 1,000 plus to 2,000, ada ke sewa macam tu? Okay. TTDI, okay, yang tu itu tak tahu kenapa korang. So it's important to also know that your expected salary can sustain you with your expected lifestyle punya bila mana you nak tinggal, apa you nak makan hari-hari, what's your fund money, and then what's your savings, your investment, semua tu. So that is also factor into your expected salary. Alright? Okay. Duduk rumah mak aje. Itu paling budget. Tapi jangan lupa bagi duit dekat mak ah. Kesian mak. Fresh grade mana boleh ada fund money. Boleh lah. Time muda lah enjoy money. Time muda tak enjoy money. Time tua tak best enjoy money. Betul. Lain rasa dia. Okay, before I move on to using your leverage, to how to use your leverage, is there anything else that people want to share about what else to do during market research phase? Bell, do you have anything to say about this? Okay, yeah. Like let's say based on your experience kan, what kind of market research have you done before? Sebelum, sorry? Yes, before applying for the job. Like what kind of market research have you done before applying for the job? Okay. Mhm. Okay. Okay. So bila you buat market research kan, do you find it helpful bila you actually ask for the expected salary that you want, and usually do you actually get the expected salary that you want? Mm. Okay. So bila you rasa nervous tu kan, do you think that you make bad decisions when you nervous? Okay. I see. All right. All right. Okay. I understand your concern. All right. So sometimes you rasa macam you tak layak to have that kind of salary. Is that it? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I will expand more on the kind of anxiety people have when they're unsure whether they deserve that salary or not. But then again, macam aku tekankan tadi, we live in a capitalistic world. If they give you that salary, means you deserve that salary. Right? It that's the short version, but I will expand on that further. So okay, I'm going to move on to the next point right now. How to use your leverage. So to use your leverage, you have to be this very well packaged punya product. You know, bila you dapat phone baru kan, and then contoh you beli apa iPhone, contoh you beli iPhone. Wow, packaging dia pun dah cantik. Okay, you buka kotak tu pun dia smooth je buka. And then you get to see the iPhone, the presentation and everything is so well packaged. The product itself pun cantik. So you have to be that kind of to have that kind of image so that you can motivate your interviewer even before they meet you. Okay. Um, balas email, time balas email ke, time angkat call ke, you have to remember that you have to be nice, be kind, be cordial, be professional, and then be inviting. Okay, you want them to think like we're going on a date, but it will be exciting. It's not going to be a boring date. We're going to go on a roller coaster, turun naik, pusing-pusing. Sebab cerita selalunya berpusing-pusing kalau salary negotiation ni. So it will be exciting to meet you. Do you know how many interviewer kena jumpa every single month? Orang bosan tau tak? So make it interesting for them to be having a talk with you. Alright? Make it engaging. Make it like I said, be inviting. They send you an email. Cakap, okay, kita jumpa 9 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay, I'm looking forward to meeting you, or I'm looking forward to talking with you, or I'm looking forward to move on through the process and brain pick you at the same time on how the company works. You know, show interest before you even meet them. You have to motivate them. The more you motivate them, the more they are excited to see you when they are actually sitting with you during the interview. It has already become an emotional investment for them, all right? An emotional investment that they don't want to lose. You build good rapport with them before the interview and during the interview. It will be a little bit harder to let you go. It will be a little bit harder, okay, to let this very, very interesting person go. So that's the first thing on using your leverage. Use your soft skill. Be professional, okay? Be inviting, all right? You want them to be motivated. So that's the first point. You want to motivate them. You want them to have like a positive mindset when you see them, okay? And then the next thing is just your portfolio, your resume, the skills that you've listed in the resume. Expand on that. Give story, cerita apa yang you belajar masa kerja dekat company ni. What kind of struggles did you do? You know, that's what makes us human. We grow up during the career, or we grow up as a human with our own biases, with our own stories, with our own communities. So people are actually interested in listening to that, and you have to keep them engaged throughout the conversation. Treat the interview as a conversation. You start storytelling to them, and then they will give their story, and then you will give your story, and then you ask, how did this come to be? And then you share your story, and then you can ask something like, how did this company started? What's the objective? What's their vision? So if the company is a bad conversation, if the company selalunya tak ada vision sangat, tak ada objective sangat, you can also see the red flags from there. I've seen many companies before this. Dorang tak ada business model yang kukuh pun. That I believe, tak ada business model yang kukuh pun kadang-kadang for me to even trust working with you. Or sometimes they show me characteristics that I don't really like. Contoh macam, I only hire junior so that I save money. So why the hell do I want to work with your company? It's very junior heavy. And the only concern is you cutting your costs, not about the actual productivity of your company, not the actual optimization within your company, or the product itself. You don't care about your product. So why should I? So treat interviews as a conversation and not a performance. So aku tahu selama 20 tahun korang hidup dekat dunia ni, you guys are given test. Korang dapat UPSR, korang ambil PMR, korang ambil SPM. So sometimes you treat interview as a test. It's not a test. It's a conversation. It's a discussion between two adults on what to decide whether you fit into the company, or whether the money that you will be receiving is good enough for you to live in this country. So that's a big responsibility untuk yourself, to sustain yourself, to sustain your family, and to sustain your lifestyle. So it's not a test macam UPSR, PMR, or SPM. It's a conversation, okay? So use your leverage. The next point that I want to talk about is resume kena cantik. Of course, resume kena cantik. But kalau boleh, time interview tu jangan cerita langsung pasal interview, pasal resume. Like I said, guna story instead of the things that is on your resume. If you start going, company ni, saya buat ni, saya pakai AWS untuk deploy ni, pakai Vue.js untuk front end, and then back end pakai, I don't know, Laravel or something. If you're just listing the resume, it's going to sound very boring. That's how you lose attention of the interviewer. Kalau you rasa you senang lose attention bila orang cakap depan you kan, imagine the interviewer who have to layan however many candidates yang orang kena layan, even though that's their job. So again, don't just baca your resume. Your portfolio will help as well. It shows that you have done your due diligence towards what you're working on and your passion within the industry untuk highlight your skills or highlight your achievements, highlight your accomplishments. That gives a short summary for the the interviewer untuk to like, okay, I give an example with one of my interview, apa nama company tu, Etika. I went for interview dekat Etika, tapi dia go through recruiter. Okay, this interview, I met with the CTO. He took a look at my resume and then letak tepi. We did not talk about my resume. We did not talk about my career experience at all. That day, yang kita orang cerita adalah pasal adik angkat dia yang kerja dekat Unimas. Sebab I coincidentally aku study dekat Unimas, dia punya adik angkat pun dekat Unimas juga. So I was like, cerita je lah pasal Sarawak, cerita je lah pasal Unimas, and cerita je lah pasal how it is adapting to Semenanjung at that time. And then kita orang bercerita 1 jam habis, I get an offer. So sometimes it's not about the skills that you show, the technical skills that you show. It's about your attitude and your soft skill juga. Okay. Okay. So that's just using your leverage, okay? Try to balance everything. Try to package yourself like an iPhone. Okay. Bel, if you ever want to interrupt me, just interrupt me at any point, Bel. If you have any kind of views, or does anyone have any kind of other views for leverage, for using your leverage? I'm gonna give like 1 minute untuk korang tanya. I was still a junior at that point of time, I'm afraid. I think it was 2 years in my career, 2 years or 3 years in my career. I consider myself as a junior at that time. Okay, at that point of time, I have no idea why he was doing that. I don't know if he was evaluating me professionally, evaluating my personality. But what I do during that interview is just be my authentic self, alright? So I treat it macam jumpa kawan lama lepak dekat kedai kopi. So that's how I just show myself to that person. I want them to decide, tak kisahlah dia bosan hari tu, dia just nak bercakap dengan orang ke apa ke. I just show my authentic self. Then apa dia evaluate, I don't care. You know, sometimes when that kind of situation happens, don't try to think what's in their mind. Try to focus on yourself instead. Tell them stories. Yeah. Did I answer your question, Bel? I hope so. Time tu dah ada job or first job? Dah 2 tahun dalam career. Time tu apply, tapi dah 2 tahun bekerja dekat first job. Kind of first job lah. I consider that my first job. My first job actually 3 bulan je, lepas tu I quit. Lepas tu masuk Hokenso, Hitachi EB Work punya subsidiary. Okay, yeah. Ada. It's dekat the same section 14 juga. Just that dia dekat Plaza 33 instead of yang dekat um, workshop pun. Ah, yeah. Yes. Sometimes orang buat pesta apa durian dekat situ. So kita orang pergi durian. Okay. So, kan. For a studies, okay. For a studies, okay. Yeah. All right. Um, does anyone else have any apa nama any questions before I move on to the next point? The tips. The tips. This is where the game starts. I think for fresh grad or yang tengah tak ada kerja, kita akan jadi lebih nervous dan susah nak chill masa interview. Tak boleh nak ada mindset. Tak kisah dia nak evaluate kita macam mana. Betul Afri. Because for fresh grad, you have to follow the law of the jungle. You are nothing in front of those interviewers. Aku dah pernah kena banyak kali where it's a bad interview. Not during fresh grad, yeah, during junior, during my first year of career and second year of career, I went to a lot of interviews. Kena tiaw, banyak kena tiaw. Tak tahu nak put proper range on myself in the current market. Tanya kawan. Akmal, then tanya kawan, or at the end of this talk, we can talk about berapa lama. Does it sound delusional if I want to negotiate allowance for the internship? Yes, be delusional. Be delusional for the money. I am delusional all the time, not just for the money. That's why, yeah. But mostly it's CEO or director yang interview instead of HR. Yes, usually HR just handle the whether kau lepas the job scope or not, then that's it. Sometimes they ask your expected salary and then they pass that to the hiring manager. And then HR kena negotiate dengan the team leader ke, the hiring manager ke, the CTO ke, whether it fits into the budget. And then HR say yes or no je at the end of the day. HR banyak kerja lain. Alright. Yes. Yes. Um, when you have that confidence, like, do you tend to make good decisions? Okay. 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 Usually when you ask for feedback kan, you ask for feedback untuk company yang you pass ke, untuk company yang you kind of fail, and what did that feedback do to you? Or is nice. Okay. All right. Thank you, Bell. Yes, that's one other thing where you can improve your future nego skill or future interview skill. You ask for feedback. Sometimes they don't give you, that's fine. But if they give you should treasure that like a gold mine. I've asked banyak feedback from my interviewers before. They say quite a lot, and I'm going to share you this story later on about how I fail my interviews. All right. Yeah, so the next one is tips on upskilling your negotiation skill. And then the final one will be understanding the negotiation game. So tips on upskilling your negotiation skills. We will continue about 5 minutes later. We take a short 5 minutes break. You guys can discuss anything in the messaging, or you can go on stage and share your experience up to this point, because I really need to go to the toilet. All right, guys. I'll be back soon. Hi everyone, I'm back. Sorry, I had lots of coffee this morning. Okay, let's continue. Okay, Arif Mustaqim, how to get good na answer well? Well, you have to. Okay, I'll explain that further during when I explain the tips. Ada apa-apa pendapat tak berkenaan soalan daripada Dexa? What is Dexa? Jauh, jauh, jauh. Aku tak tahu. Yes. Okay, Dexa. So, I don't know if you ada tak last week. So, masa aku lead software engineer, aku interview seorang seorang apa junior ni. Dia pivot from chemical engineering, working at water treatment plant. Dia ambil bootcamp and dia self learn for 6 months. Dia study Ruby on Rails and React. Dia buat portfolio dia and then dia pass dia punya technical test. So what did I see in him? Dia pass the technical test dengan cemerlang. Okay. Dia punya interviewer masa proses interviewer sorry, masa proses interview tu dia pun okay, just that he tries to tries to highlight the skills too much but not letting me know what's the story, what's the honest authentic story, kenapa dia pivot from um, chemical engineering to software engineering. So I was the one that had to ask, kenapa dia buat macam ni? Apa rasa dia? What do you think about tech? What do you think about software engineering? How have you been learning so far? And from there, I find out dia punya motivation, dia punya attitude, dia punya apa learning pace dia macam mana. So if you're a person that's pivoting career, you cannot focus on your technical skill too much because you don't have much experience with that. yes, you self-learn, maybe you belajar cepat apa, but you're not battle tested, you're not battle proven, you're not industry tested dalam the tech industry, okay? So you play with your attitude. Bukan ramai orang nak pivot career. You are taking a lot of risks. You are investing your time, your mental capacity, and then probably risking your income juga bila you pivot career. So talk about that. Talk about what you've learned during your previous career that you feel like macam boleh improve. For example, the junior that I talked with, dia cakap, oh banyak SOP yang kena langgar sebenarnya. So kalau ada sistem yang boleh monitor QA better, it would be apa nama? It would be advantageous lah untuk that company to further make efficient. So from there I can rationalize that this person can extract business process well and improve on that. So your previous experience kerja dekat mana-mana is also important lah in a way that you have to understand the business and show that you can improve it by using tech. Yes, developers are problem solvers. Even if you kerja mamak before this pun, you have something to contribute. Let's say you kerja mamak before this and then you apply dekat Foodpanda. You can tell the people at Foodpanda what's the dilemma that is faced by restaurant restaurant. So something like that. Not all skills are transferable, but your experience is very much your insights, apa yang you belajar dekat dalam your previous business, that's important for you to share to the nerds. Okay, the nerds don't know that. All they know is bila dorang habis grad, programming, business analysis, project management, and then that's it. They go to that position that they are in right now. If you understand macam role lain yang contoh project management or product manager, they come from different kind of background, but they bring a lot to the table. They bring new insights, they bring fresh perspective on the industry. So that's why they were chosen to be in that position. So you are not actually jangan lupakan what's your past experience. Give it a fresh point of view on how you can improve it with tech during interview. Okay? All right, Dexter, I hope I answered your question. Nabel K, macam mana if soft skills type online interview can communicate well versus bila dah kerja, not really communicate well. Tak apa, asalkan you lepas interview dah okay lah tu. Bila dah kerja nanti, tanyalah manager apa kurang atau apa yang boleh dibaiki. How to get a good answer. Okay, I will explain on that. Bila dah kerja, okay. I'm done with all your questions. Alright, so I'm going to move on with the tips on upskilling your negotiation skill. Alright, so first of all, whenever you negotiate, you have to have the winning mentality. Okay, this is first-hand experience. The winning mentality is not a myth. The winning mentality is not a myth. Someone wise once said, you have already won. You just need the time. Okay, you have already won. All you need is time. So when you come into an interview, you come into that interview gun blazing. You have to know in your mind, even though you don't pass this interview, you are going to pass this interview. You have to talk to yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, you will win this interview. You will capture everyone's heart at that interview. You have to be delusional. You have to be delusional. That's how you keep a positive attitude about you, and you coming in, you giving the positive vibe, and then you just trust yourself, trust your crazy self, trust your delusional self. I've tried the winning mentality many times before, and I've actually got ridiculous offer. I've got ridiculous offer. I've even used the winning mentality during hackathon. Okay, I used the winning mentality during the hackathon. So why do I focus much in this winning mentality? Because if you have the winning mentality from the start, you're going to play the cards, okay, of a winner. You're going to follow the process of the winner. What do winners do? They try a process, they fail, they learn from that process, they try again. So that's the winning mentality. You follow the process, winning every single time. So in the past, I've lost a lot of hackathon. I've joined a lot of hackathon since university. Sampailah hackathon apa yang time PKP tu, yang under KJ tu, the national hackathon that's supposed to be based on the state tapi dia jadi online. My hackathon I think it's my hackathon. Yeah, sprint. I took the sprint category. I have the winning mentality. I tell everyone, okay, we already win this. We just need the time. We just need to finish this deck. I tell the team that, okay, from beginning until the end, we tell the team that we have already won. And the thing that's set into gear for that team is semua orang buat kerja seolah-olah diorang dah menang dah. Bukan menang diorang dah lepas tangan. Diorang ikut proses macam mana pemenang buat. Kita orang buat deck sebaik habis. Kita orang buat market research. Kita orang buat kita orang buat the solution. And then when the time untuk present, we play with the emotions. We play with the judge punya emotion. We use facts from studies, research from the government punya plan. Kita orang support letak tu banyak-banyak dekat dalam our arguments and everything. And then we won the Mahakathon. Yeah, so that was my first try at winning mentality. And then I used that during interviews. I asked for the most impossible things tapi dapat discounted sikit. But still yang discount tu pun is the impossible amount that I've never imagined that I would achieve. So yeah, be delusional. Yep, that's my tips to everyone. Be delusional. Sorry, Belle, you wanted to say something? Mm-hmm. Yes. Look at how past winners do it. Because we literally copied winners from hackathons before this. How do they present? What kind of personality they bring to the table? What kind of solution they bring to the table? We copied every winners. That's just it. We follow the process of winners. All right. So that's my first tips on upskilling your negotiation skill. Second thing, you have to do interviews even when you don't need it. Alright, so what do I mean by this? You dah kerja setahun dah dalam company, tapi you like that company so much, the pay is good as well, and you don't actually nak cari tempat kerja tempat lain. So what you need to do is actually do interviews at least once a year. Okay, why? You need to understand how much you're worth out there with your current resume. This is going to help you with two things. You understand kalau you nak cari kerja, you understand your market value. Kalau during performance review or salary review dalam company, you can use that as a benchmark. Usually I tell my boss, can I take Thursday leave because I'm going for an interview? My boss say, go ahead. When I come back to the company on Friday, boss tanya, how's the interview? It's very good. And then okay. Sometimes ada boss yang tanya, what kind of salary did you get? I said this much. Oh, that's high. Yeah, expect that salary during our next salary review. So sometimes I usually have good relationship with my manager most of the time. There are edge cases. So I use that to my advantage during salary review. And at the same time, you know your market value. Okay, even though you stay in the company dalam 3 tahun. Kalau you stay 3 tahun, you dapat increment at let's say 5% or 10%, you know your market value. And you know you are still in demand. It's gonna give you confidence when you get laid off or you want to change company. So yes, do interviews. Also at the same time, you're practicing your interview skill. When contohlah recruiter cakap, oh ada interview ni untuk interview ni. Make a decision at that time whether that company is good or not. When I say good, macam whether the company has good growth for you, like dia ada good manager, dia ada tech stack that you wish to learn, dia ada dia dalam industri yang you interested in. Like for me, I like the finance industry. So, okay, I go for the interview. I know I'm a good fit for that company, but I'm not ready to change career yet. Okay? I'm not ready to change career yet. But at least I know in that industry, I have a spot. I have a space. Okay? Most of the interviewers that I pass usually, they told me, if you ever want to go back, if you ever want to accept this offer is always on the table, just contact me. I never contacted them. Malu lah kan kita reject tapi nak ambil apa offer tu lagi. Tapi I keep good relationship with the people that I've met before. That's part of networking juga. So yeah, the second point, do interviews even when you don't need it. Okay, and the third one, storytelling. Okay, storytelling. Please improve your storytelling skill. You can Google lah. You can YouTube it. Search siapa namanya? Ali Abdal. Ali Abdal punya storytelling is very good. You should see how he tells story, okay? And that's how you should try to emulate to interviewers. You tell stories, you keep people engaged, you tell them your experiences, okay? You share them your emotions, your turbulence during your career. Tapi jangan banyak sangat pasal ni. And then also your failures, okay? Tell them your failures. And how you learn from that. So that's the negotiation skill that storytelling part that's going to help kind of make a mental note to the interviewer saying, okay, you are on my mind right now. You have a very good story. I will remember that. I will remember that when you ask for your salary. I will remember that after you leave this room. I will probably want to hire you so much. Okay? All right. Okay. Now that's storytelling. There was supposed to be another point, but I forgot just now. What did I want to say? Tips. Okay. Another tips that I sometimes do when I was a fresh grad. I don't do this anymore, but I was a fresh grad at that time, and I really needed to upskill my negotiation skill. So aku pindah, time tu aku kerja dekat Semenanjung, so I had to pindah banyak kali lah dalam PJ tu dekat section 17. So aku pindah rumah, bilik tu kosong, so I need to buy lots of furniture lah. Like so one of the furniture aku beli is carpet. Okay, carpet. This is important. Carpet. Aku pergi kedai carpet, and since aku ada interview next week tu, and dalam otak aku ada baca satu artikel ni, you can actually practice negotiation outside of interview. So aku negotiate harga carpet tu. Harga dia dari 180 jadi 120. So dekat situ aku rasa, oh, maybe this is what negotiation is all about. Yes, that is what negotiation is all about. Kau pergi masuk interview tu, kau imagine kau jual kapit. Macam mana kau jual kapit tu pulang kepada kau, tapi kau tengah jual kapit. Okay. Apa? Yeah, you can negotiate. Tapi janganlah negotiate dekat peniaga yang betul-betul memerlukan. Kau pergi tepi jalan, kau nak beli nasi lemak, kau nak negotiate kalau tak. Okay, alright. So that's my tips for upskilling your negotiation skills, and the next one is understanding the negotiation game. Okay, this part is important. This is the usual or the standard flow for salary negotiation punya game. Okay, but before that, any question or anything else anyone want to share about tips to negotiation, to upskill your negotiation skill? Anyone? Going once, going twice. So we're going to the next topic, understanding the negotiation game. All right, so this part is a bit long for me to talk. So do try to understand the bits and pieces that I want to say, because the way I speak sometimes lompat sana sini depending on the story. So this is actually fresh on my mind. I've went to multiple interviews during my career. Banyak kali kena tiao. Pergi DG kena tiao. Kena tiao sebab apa? Underqualified. Tapi recruiter DG dorang yang cakap dorang nak aku. Tapi bila sampai interview kena tiao. Lepas tu there's another startup company. I mean, it's a studio house lah. Dorang operate in a condo. Kena tiao juga. Sebab minta banyak sangat. Kena bagi, kena carut on the spot. Dah lah kena carut on the spot, kena pandang rendah sebab aku dari Sarawak pula tu. Sial betul lah. And then aku pernah fail interview US company sebab dia tanya soalan pelik-pelik. So from their island lah, there are different types of people, and if you don't vibe with the people, you will not vibe with the company. So don't waste your time. So that's the first thing to understand the negotiation game. The negotiation game is don't waste your time. Alright. Sarawak, now kerja kat Semenanjung ke? I'll tell you guys that in a later story. Esok saya ada interview, doakan saya. Okay, satu group chat bagi dia doa. Atau bagi dia link interview Yasin. Recruiter atau direct company is good. Recruiter atau direct company is good. Okay. This part, recruiter, third party recruiter dengan first party recruiter, they have different kind of game. Okay. First party punya recruiter, they don't care about how much you're going to make. That's not up to them usually. They only care you get hired. That's their KPI. Their KPI is to get you hired. But the third party recruiter, their KPI is the lower your salary and you get accepted, the better their bottom line is. Because I'm not really sure about this, because they have a certain budget and they need to play with that budget. The more people they get, the better. And the more they save from that, the higher the commission is. It's something like that lah, the game. So here is the negotiation game. All right. Okay. The first, I'm going to start with the do's and don'ts first, and then I'm going to start how the flow on how you play this game. Okay. The first is, if possible. Okay. If possible, let them buka harga. What do I mean by this? When they say, what's your expected salary? I will reply with, what's your pay band for this position? Okay, so the first one is, if possible, let them yang buka harga. Because siapa yang cakap first akan hilang leverage during the negotiation phase. Yes. If you buka harga first, you will lose that leverage. But there is a way to counter this. I will explain more later. The second one is, if possible, do not reveal how much you make currently. So you use the higher power for this. Not the highest power. Highest power is God. Use your higher power when someone say this. You cakap NDA tak boleh discuss apa-apa. Tapi selalunya diorang tahu. Diorang memang betul-betul kalau nak proceed with this interview, you kena say your expected your current salary. Okay, yang this one pun I also ada counter juga. It's very hard when company do this. It's very hard when they ask you how much you're making right now. Very hard. Okay, and the third one, this is you shouldn't do in any kind of company. You do not ever give your pay slip or EPF statement. Okay? You don't want that. Don't give them your pay slip. Don't give your EPF statement. Don't give them any kind of black and white proof for them to get more leverage. And it's also very unethical for them to ask this. Companies do not have access to your past EPF contributions. That's so lots of fresh grads ask me this. No, companies cannot access how much you make before. They cannot see from your EPF contribution, your past contribution, unless you tell them lah. If you tell them, that's on you lah. But no one have that access. I have lots of fresh grads asking this. Boleh ke company access EPF kita untuk check how much we contribute and from there infer how much we make? No, they cannot. They don't have access to that. Unless their EPF lah. That one I don't know. Okay. And if they really paksa you untuk bagi pun, just reject that company. You don't want to work at this kind of company anyway. It's very unethical. There's probably underlying issues within the company. They probably have bad management. I mean, whose idea is this? The management punya idea. If this is management punya idea, baik you reject je lah dari awal daripada you buang masa. It's a red flag. Okay, it's a red flag. And then, okay, so that's my EPF tu apa? KWSP. Yeah, EPF tu adalah KWSP, Employee Provident Fund. Okay, so that's my general do's and don'ts during the negotiation game. And then, when to talk about money? Is it after playing all your leverage or before? So this one is up to you. If it's a company that you're just testing the water with, you can talk about money on the phone. It's fine. Usually some company prefer it that way, so they don't waste your time juga. So if you don't want to waste your time, you talk about money awal-awal. But even then, even if you macam sebut your expected salary during your first call kan, you just give them the range. I nak somewhere between 10,000 to 15,000. So after you understand the company more, you understand the work job scope more, you play all your leverage, you can make your decision after that. And then there's a way for you to also delay bila you nak speak about money. Kalau dari awal dah ada ethical issues macam tu, better gerak dulu. Yes, betul. So here is the process, okay? So the process usually it depends on what type of recruiter that you have, either first party or third party. When I say first party, let's say you want to apply to Maybank, the recruiter itself is from Maybank. If third party, okay, contoh third party, you apply for Maybank, the recruiter is actually from some company like Tribe Hired or Michael Page, and things like that. So third party recruiter, dorang ada contract dengan first party, dorang ada contract dengan dorang punya contractor lah as their vendor, that they will have to cari orang untuk recruit. Okay, so Dekat situ dah ada middleman and they get commissions from your hiring. They get commissions from your hiring. So sometimes the lower your asking price is, the more commission for them. I mean, it's the money that's is safe based on that position punya range lah kan. So sometimes that's their KPI, but sometimes their KPI is to just accept orang masuk as long as they pass the interview. And they will coach you throughout the interviews. I mean, some companies do this. They will coach you throughout the interview and then tell you what kind of person the CTO is, what kind of hiring manager, what kind of things that you will do during this stage of the interview. They will coach you. So that's third party recruiter. The first party recruiter, they just want to know your asking price sometimes. Sometimes they just want to know the asking price, where you will be located, the job scope, and then that's it. They either pass you to hiring manager after that, or they just pass you to the hiring manager for the next interview, and that's it. They don't have any sometimes they don't have any KPI for that. Their KPI is usually just to fill headcounts. So big companies, diorang punya headcount untuk hire every month or every year is very high. And that's the only thing that they focus on. And sometimes first party punya recruiter, they have lots of other jobs as well. Sometimes their job is also an HR, also handling culture. So dorang tak ada masa nak main game dengan korang. Okay, they're just straight to the point. So like my current company, recruiter korang, kita orang dipanggil under department people and culture punya department. Okay, they handle all our devices, they handle all our accounts, they remind us when to log into our parent punya company punya authentication. Banyak kerja yang dia kena buat selain daripada recruitment. Recruitment is just one part, so they don't have time to play the game. But third party is a different beast entirely. Okay, so when you start to negotiate, whether it's first party or third party to any company, all right? If they don't want to buka harga, okay? If they don't want to give you the range, all right? You give them the impossible number, okay? You give them the impossible number. And then it will be a reducing number game. So what do I mean by this? You dah buat market research, you dah buat kira-kira cost hidup you berapa, and then you ada satu nombor. Let's say that number is 10,000. Perfect 5 figure. The lowest 5 figure 10,000. Tapi tolak EPF semua tu yang tu belakang cerita. 10,000, you dah ada number 10,000. Lepas tu diorang main-main dengan you pula. Diorang tak nak buka harga. And then you give the impossible number. You tahu in that range for that job scope, the highest that can go is, let's say 17,000. Then you tell them, my expected salary is 17,000. And then from there, you can play the reducing number game. And then you can understand like how much is actually their pay band or their pay range. Okay. So they say, oh, 17,000 is too high. Then what's your best next number? Can you enlighten me? Can you give me clarity? I want to know what's the pay range that you're asking for. We're actually going for 8,000 to 13,000. There you go. You have your pay range. Now play that game. You play that game. Okay, 17,000. So how about okay, so if it's 13,000, would that work for you? Tapi selalunya dia tak straightforward like this. Selalunya adalah benda-benda lain. Okay, 17,000. Okay. Now you need to justify why the hell did you say 17,000? Okay. So now you need to justify why did you say 17,000? Okay. You can give reasons like, okay, it's just the cost of living right now. I may need to buy a new device when I stay at the company. And then you ask the company, does the company provide device for the employee? Oh yes. Okay. How about insurance and so on? then you start asking for the benefits that the company gives. Okay, they say that they give you a device for your work, they give you insurance, they give you how much annual leave. Okay. Oh, and then you can, play along with that game. Oh, that's actually quite a lot of benefits. I think yeah, I think the pay range that you offer me just now makes much more sense. I think 13K is good if you're okay with that. And suddenly from your expected salary of 10K, it becomes 13K. All right. So play the impossible number. Sometimes aku pernah interview, I asked for an impossible number and they were like, no. They were like, no, we can't afford you. I'm sorry. Okay, and then tak ada cerita, tak ada continuation from that interview again. So be reminded, if you play the impossible number, there are repercussions. But usually during negotiation phase, after you show off your skills, highlight all your skills, they're unlikely to let you go that easily. Okay. And then kalau you masih belum ada experience playing this game, don't use this tactic dekat company you actually want. Use it at the company that you rasa-rasa macam, okay, rasa-rasa macam tu. And then you can compare lah during the offer letter nanti whether the company can match the offer or not. Kalau lah. So this one is a double-edged sword, but this is one of the best tactic that I've used throughout my career. I've learned to play this game such to such a level that people think I'm delusional. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you another example. There's a startup company. I know they have funding because that industry made a lot of money quite recently, and they have expanded. So they were looking for a lead software developer, and they don't actually have a pay range because that's the first position in that company. So I gave them the impossible number, and that's the second time I actually play the impossible number. The first impossible number was because I was trying to waste the interviewers' time. I had like bad bloods with them, so I just play around with them. I played with their feelings, but somehow they kind of accepted that salary as well. So this company, the company I'm talking about, it's a I hate to say this, but it's an NFT company. It's a crypto company. So yeah, they have money, and I asked for 30,000. I asked for 30,000. That's a delusional amount of money even for me. But I know my value. And finally negotiate benefits apa semua. Okay, they can't afford exactly 30,000. Okay, then can you put vesting periods into my compensation? Okay, the final amount goes up to 20,000 cold hard cash. Okay, ringgit, 20,000 ringgit, 5,000 share per month vesting, and then 5,000 coin, that crypto coin, like whatever, 20,000 and then another 10,000. And they really tried to get me on board. Like they were desperate. So that's another red flag. If they're desperate, that's another red flag. And they want me to build a team. So I have experience with building a team. They want me to build a team, and they give me a team budget already. The time interview pun aku dah minta. Time interview pun aku dah minta lah. Like for this one team, how much is my budget per month? They say roughly 20 USD per month. 20,000 USD per month. So yeah, so if you play with the impossible numbers, there are repercussions, but please be aware the pros outweighs the cons. And they were so much of a red flag, and I don't really like the crypto industry, so I turned them down. Not 30K USD, 30K ringgit, okay? 30K ringgit, but the team budget is I asked for USD because it's going to be a remote punya team. But 30k ringgit, okay? 30k ringgit. Imagine tengah-tengah interview pasal salary then kita bagi any delusional number then dia fire kita. Macam mana dia fire kau time kau tengah interview, dia belum hire kau lagi. So the main point about asking for impossible number is for them untuk buka langkah, for them to buka harga, for them to, you know, give you that pay band, you know. Tapi sometimes the impossible thing happen. They actually give you that. I was like, okay. It's not like I'm going to leave the money on the table. But again, I rejected that company. Okay. So now they have buka harga, okay? So whether they buka harga in the first place, they give you the pay range in the first place, or they give you the the expected salary for this position, atau whether they give you that at the start of the discussion or after you started to pressure them, baru dorang nak buka harga. Okay. So ada dua situation dekat sini. Whether the pay range or whether the pay range is higher than your expectation or it's lower than your expectation. Okay. So they buka harga and it's lower than your expectation. So let's say it starts at 7,000. So let's say it starts at 7,000, okay? It starts at 7,000 and your hope is already bleak. You don't have much leeway here because they only have 7,000. Their expected is 7,000, but sometimes 7,000 is also, sometimes the parents is also a trick. Sometimes if they give you a single number, that's probably the minimum. And if that's the max, but if they give you a max pay range like 5,000 to 7,000, that's an even harder game. So let's say they give you an actual number like 7,000. So counter that number with a little, with a number a bit higher from your expectation, so that you can still play the reducing game. Okay. So let's say they give you 7,000. You tell them 13,000. Okay. And then you try to play that reducing game again, like I've said. So 13,000. No, that's too high. That's too high. Okay, so then, okay, so if 13,000 is too high, then what about you? What do you think? I think 7,000 is too low for this position and for the workload that I'm taking. You try to justify as best as possible why 7,000 is too low, and they're the bad person. Okay, they're the villain right now. You have to defeat them. So you start with 13,000, you play the reducing game. Maybe at the end of the day, you get 9.5 ke, 9k ke, or even you get your actual expected salary 10k. If you get your expected salary 10k, then alhamdulillah. You get higher, then alhamdulillah juga. If you get 9 or 9.5k and you rasa you boleh accept, sebab maybe the job scope is something that you want, or apa ke, 9k, 9.5k, kalau you rasa okay, then okay lah. Terima je lah. Alhamdulillah, you dapat. Kalau you rasa macam 9k or 9.5k tu pun you rasa macam, oh tak boleh ni, tak boleh. Then you just reject and move on to the next interview. Okay, so that's the negotiation game, the back and forth. So what you want to always do is to play the reducing game. You cannot play the increasing game during negotiation. Kalau you beli kapet pun, you try minta kurang harga, bukan nak naikkan harga. So it's a one way punya graph dari situ. You try to play reducing from the high expected amount. You try to reduce to your lower expectation band kat situ. So that's the reducing game. You can only play that. You cannot play increasing game, because if you rasa increasing game, you start dari 7k. You cakap expected salary 7k. Tak adanya dalam interview you cakap, oh, I nak 8k pula. I nak 9k pula. Oh, 10k pula. No, it doesn't work that way. It's a reducing game. Okay. And then for when you want to jump company, the usual increment is from your current salary 20% to 30%. Okay, 20 to 30%. That's the minimum, but it's not exactly the golden value. The golden value is whatever you want, okay? Whatever your delusional mind wants, okay? So 20 is 30 is the minimum, okay? It's not the standard. People say, oh, 20 to 30% is the standard. No, no. Especially if you're someone who can walk the walk and you're cocky. Okay, another attitude about me is I'm cocky as hell. I'm very, very cocky. So so what happens when people usually say this to me, 20% to 30% is the standard. Do I look like someone standard to you? No, I'm not standard. I walk a very different path from everyone. I walk the startup path. I walk the path of a failure. So based on what I bring to the table, that's not standard. So I stand my ground. So that's the second strategy, standing your ground. Okay, apa-apa pun, you stand your ground. Okay, what do I mean by standing your ground? This is not playing a game. This is standing your ground. Yeah, be cocky. This is standing your ground. This is not reducing game. This is standing your ground. Okay, you have an expected salary of 10K. You went into the interview gun blazing, you show off everything, you keep a good rapport with the interviewer, and then you say, okay, 10K is my expected salary. If you want to give more, that's up to you. But if you want to give less, I can't accept it. I can't accept it. I can't accept less than this. Now you if the interviewer actually wants you and you corner them like that, sometimes they have to accept you. Sometimes they have to accept you if they really, really want you. If you totally impress the interviewer, you stand your ground. That's the best that's the best play for me lah. For me, that's the best play for me because it's straightforward. Okay, I want this amount. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. That's my value right now. Yes, it is scary when you're a junior or if you don't have much experience negotiating. But to alleviate this kan, do this dekat interview yang you rasa you tak nak pun company tu. You rasa tak nak pun company tu and you just think of it as you're just playing around with the feelings of the recruiter or the interviewer or something like that. You just have to fake it, you know? I mean, it does not really kind of main-main dengan dorang, but it's actually what you want and you don't want to waste your time and you don't want to waste their time. So just say 10,000 is my expected salary. I'm sorry, but I can't move forward with the interview if you can't accept that. So usually kalau company tu suka sangat dengan you tapi recruiter tu yang block you, yang block you from proceeding, sometimes company will ask why. Sometimes company will ask why, kenapa dia tak nak. I've had multiple times in yang bring me to the interviewer is the recruiter, the third party recruiter. But the one yang call me to convince me to take the offer is the company itself, the CTO itself. So sometimes that's the kind of so now you have the direct link from the company to you. So you say lah, okay, my expected salary is 10K. I will only be able to accept your offer if it's at this amount. So now you can bypass the recruiter by going directly with the company. But the recruiter lah yang still dapat credit tu, it's just that you have the direct access to someone inside the company on what you want. Okay, on what you want. I don't demand on my first job. Yeah, you can't say much. Okay, everyone. I make 2.8K, 2,800 for my first job. So everyone's process is different. The only reason that I get to this much salary is because of the experience that I have. Ada pelik sikit lah experience tu. I have a lot of failure in that experience. And at the same time, I'm just getting better at negotiating. Okay? Alright. So my final, okay, I've touched this before. And my final point untuk understanding this negotiation game is recruiters, they play with numbers to keep their bottom line. Okay, you play with numbers to keep your livelihood. Okay, so you have to understand that. So if you plan to stay your ground, kan? So if you plan to stay your ground with them when they actually the company is the one with the money, the first party company is the one with the company, impress the company, which also will impress the recruiters to close the deal faster. So if you impress the first party company so much, okay, the recruiters have no choice but to close the deal because the company want you that much. Or if they can't close the deal, the company will start asking questions. Okay, so that's roughly the negotiation game that I have gone through before. And then to ask to answer questions like kalau dorang apa, kalau dorang tanya salary tu atau kalau dorang tanya salary kan, kalau dorang tanya your current salary, sometimes you have no choice but to tell your salary. You know, you don't have much of a choice to tell your salary, your current salary, to the recruiter or the HR or the hiring manager. So sometimes you do have to disclose that. Although unethical, although feel like macam tak best lah macam tu sebenarnya kan. Sometimes you have to because it's the company that you want. So imagine that's the company that you really want to work with. Have that experience before. I had to disclose my salary. But then again, aku suka bundakan salary aku. You know, rounding up, never rounding down, rounding up to the nearest, I don't know, to the nearest 1,000, to the nearest 2,000, to the nearest 5,000. So I just bagi tahu lah. Is it a red flag if certain company asks your current salary? It's not exactly red flag. It shouldn't be the decision to stop you from joining the company. It's more like a beige flag. Okay. It's more like it's the process. Sometimes it's their internal process to ask your current salary, put it on the file, and then pass to the hiring manager. But sometimes I counter them with higher power lah. I say ada NDA. I cannot even say that much. If not, I'll be apa nama? I'll be langgar aku langgar NDA tu lah. And if aku langgar NDA tu, kau nak ke aku langgar NDA kau? Sometimes I counter like that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Finally, aku kena juga bundakan gaji aku. But then again, don't be too fixated on how much you're making right now. Try to understand what's your value. And the next one, so if you go to multiple interview kan, you have to have multiple offer for you to compare your market price. Oh, company ni offer aku ni, company ni offer aku ni. And that's also a nice way for you to use your leverage. Like my very recent interview, okay? My really recent interview that I feel like it's a dream company for me. I like their product. I tried to ask them to match their salary to the one that I get. They can't. So I had to move on lah from that. So that's another way that you can use your offer letter, is to by using that as a leverage for them to match the salary. Hey, company A, can you try to match this salary from company B? They're giving me this much, and I hope that you can match that price. So that's another way for you to use your offer letter. Another thing would be to also use it during your salary review. So there's a company out there that's willing to pay me this much. Can you match that? But sometimes it can backfire as well. Why don't you go to that company? Okay. Usually I do that. Okay, so I hope that's answers everyone's question about the negotiation game. Yeah. So while I read the messaging conversation that you guys have been sending. I didn't actually read what you guys say. Does anyone else want to get on stage and give patah kata pun? Okay. Bell, do you want to have patah kata about the negotiation game? Afri ke? Or anyone? Afri je. Nero, dari aku tengah scroll ke atas. Yeza pernah dapat 100% increase. Okay, 2 kali ganda. Okay, sorry. Tak ada sangat. Okay, best. Takut takut pula kalau buat corner macam tu. Itulah when boleh je jadi koki. Yes, yes. Yes, Bell. When you have the value, boleh je jadi koki. Yes. When you have the skills to back you up, you can be cocky. You have no idea how many cocky people I've met in the industry. And it's not just macam programmers ke, tech ke. Like you see the people on the leadership or management, usually they're quite, they're quite cocky. What's the best situation in salary negotiation for self-taught like me? Play into your story, play into your personality, play into your attitude, play into your learning experience, what you've learned, play into your passion. Dah pernah kerja or the first kerja. I don't demand on my first job. I can't say much on this. Only started demanding afterward, like after a year or okay, after 6 months. So you really learn from the company then job. So is it a red flag? Is that your concern? Not really. Even bank pun. NDA save the day. Yes, NDA save the day. Okay, another thing that I forgot to mention to you guys. So let's say during the interview, they give you're not ready to make your to voice out your expected salary yet. So this is another strategy, the higher power strategy. So let's say you're not ready to voice out what your current salary is yet. So sorry, you are not ready untuk bagi tahu berapa gaji yang you nak. Okay, you nak delay that. So let's say maybe you're making a tactical punya strategy so that another offer from another company arrive. Let's say another offer from another company arrive esok. So you want to delay that negotiation at least until esok. Okay, so this is how you delay. You use the higher power. You know another higher power than NDA. Your father, your mother, your husband, your wife. Okay, that's the higher power. And you've been doing this since you were a kid. Like kalau ada budak rumah sebelah bully you panggil siapa? You panggil mak bapak you kan? Okay, you use your higher power in this case. Same thing when you pergi beli kereta second hand. Oh, sorry, I tanya isteri saya dululah. Oh, I tanya husband saya dululah. Insurance agent, you nak deflect insurance agent ke, you can use this higher power juga. Insurance agent cakap you nak tak beli insurance ni. Oh sorry, I kena discuss dengan isteri I dulu, I kena discuss dengan husband I dulu, I kena discuss dengan parents I dulu. So that's how you get out from that situation to delay that negotiation. Okay, let me discuss with my wife first. Let me discuss with my husband first, or paling basic lah. Or let me think about this first. About the number that you gave me. I'm gonna, digest all this information and try to come up with a number. Maybe at by the end of the week. Okay, by the end of the week, you already successfully delay the negotiation by the end of the week. The offer comes tomorrow, you get the offer. If offer tu lagi tinggi dari apa yang dia bagi tahu, okay, end of the week dah sampai, you korang ada dalam call, okay, I just got this offer from another company, it's at this much, can you try to match that? Bam, you negotiated with something else on the table, and that's also another strategy that you can do. It's called tactical delay. Okay, so yeah, I forgot to mention that. Just told more than receive count you bukan deme boleh check pun. Betul. Bukan deme boleh check pun. Tipu je. Tak salah. Bukan tipu. Kita tak cakap kita tipu gaji yang kita dapat sekarang. Kita just, bundakan ke atas sedikit, kalau dia macam contohlah dia macam 7,000, alah 7,000 kan odd number. 7,000 kan bukan round number. So bundakanlah ke 10 yang seterusnya. So kalau 7 tu bundakanlah ke 10. Jangan minta PNC document like okay, yang tu red flag. So everything mostly about what we can. Betul. If nak tanya pasal opinion, Nero, we want Nero. Nero. Semua nak Nero. Bolehkah aku naikkan dia terus? Invite to speak. Haha, Arif. Haha, I'm from different fields, so experience might be different. Okay, Nero. Thoughts, tips, understanding the negotiation game before we end the session.
Hello guys. So itulah like I mentioned earlier, I'm from different field, so I don't know much about macam interview dekat tech punya industry lah. But I used to be in a startup juga, but I was on the design department lah mainly, and my experience is mostly macam smooth sailing lah so far. So sebab tu I need to learn from today. So if I want to share my experience, sebab I don't have any degree or anything, just like purely SPM, and of course design is very subjective. You just need to build up your portfolio along the way, and then you can basically dapat from there lah. My first job, it was because macam mana, I think I build connection before they even like interview or have an opening. So macam I dah connect with diorang punya director, I dah connect with diorang punya I think mostly directors and orang-orang dekat company tu lah, the one that I wanted to go. So bila dah connect and diorang dah kenal, so when they have opening, I just came in and then just diorang just borak macam, kau tengah buat apa sekarang, buat ada projek baru apa semua benda, ada apa benda semua, and tak ada tanya anything pasal whatever my previous education apa. Even the director, after I work for like 2 years, baru dia dapat tahu yang I don't have any degree. So that is my experience lah. Itu that is one of my first job lah. After that, I went to different job. But of course, this is in design punya field lah. It's very different with tech lah kan. I think the second one pun sama, but my working punya journey is a bit different lah, sebab because I used to macam kerja and then I take a break for a year to learn different skills, and then I go back to the industry, and from the 1 year or whatever break that I had, I use that to leverage more based on apa yang contoh, let's say my my first job maybe time tu around 2000 something je, and then after work for a while, for the next job I terus start with 4 plus lah. Tapi sebab design is lagi susah lah compare to tech punya gaji kan, sebab design even nak dapat 4, nak achieve 4 pun sometimes orang take 5 years apa semua nak dapat that level lah. So that one I start for, dia orang cakap okay, they willing to, tapi still borak-borak lah. Semua dia become a bit tense bila dah start issue pasal cakap gaji tu kan. Tapi eventually sebab they want me, because dia orang yang tanya, dia orang yang actually macam approach, oh you want to kau nak join nak company kita orang ni. Lepas tu dia suruh tengok, lepas tu borak, and then okay, join. Only that lah. Then after that I take a break again. After that company I left, and then I take a break again, do different stuff, start doing different like freelance job. And then from there I managed to somehow get around 10 lah per job, so consistently. So dari situ I apply to different company, but this time around it's a bit different sebab startup. I never been to a startup, and then diorang this through recruiter lah. So recruiter actually approached me. I think the company name is Hayes. So dia approach me, and then masa dekat recruiter pun macam, because I terus cakap oh I want 10, and then recruiter cakap it's a bit too high based on the budget, but try pergi jumpa jumpa the interviewer dulu kan. Pergi company tu dulu, try to dapat, kalau dapat nanti diorang boleh adjustkan lah. And then jumpa the interview, this one is a bit different sebab this one company ni memang totally have no idea about me. Tapi I just borak macam biasa. Just borak-borak what I did, apa semua. Because I do different other stuff as well. Selain pada buat design, I do benda macam I do visuals for band, for hujan kan. So I did the visual. So I share about other stuff that I do outside daripada what I'm doing. Yang for kerja, I share my hobby and everything. So dia lebih kepada tu, I try to leverage that tu macam okay, I got all these skills and skills ni boleh pakai. Tapi I didn't tell them anything about ni lah pasal whatever related to coding or different lah, tapi mostly around art and design punya stuff. And eventually I got in, and then during my time in the company, mula-mula of course bila company macam ni dia startup and tak banyak orang boleh fill a certain gap kan. Macam contoh company tu is dia orang purely on React Native, and then dia orang nak buat a certain module. For me, I was working on the AR punya department, which is only me. I'm the only one in the AR department because I do 3D, and then dia orang tak ada native developer. So eventually I need to start learning code lah on native sebab kan I need to integrate AR tu from scratch natively kan. So itulah I eventually start learning like code lagi banyak from there lah, and then even create the React Native module for them to actually integrate AR for diorang punya benda during my time in there. Lepas tu I think that one is after kerja 1 year they gave a raise of I think another 10% macam tu after 1 year. Then itulah after that I get bored and then I go out from the company, and then without any backup or anything, then I just go to different field lah, which is the one that I'm currently on. So itulah, so far tak ada sangat yang bad experience lah. So I cannot tell much, but this is what I can share from different industry. So itulah.
Nice. Thank you, Nero. Thank you. I hope you have like wonderful more interviews in the future. Thank you for sharing, Nero. Right. We also have Afri today. Afri,
Thank you.
come on, Afri.
But yeah, sebelum tu kan, tu nampak ada orang angkat tangan tu, Ming. So
Oh tak. Aku yang invite tu. Dorang tak accept. Aku right click je siapa-siapa invite tadi. Ada yang tak accept. Maybe Ming belum ready lagi. Okay, Ming pun dah ready. But I give the floor to you first, Afri, and then Ming.
so panjang pun, I guess. One thing that really helped me in my salary negotiation or salary expectation kan, is bincang dengan kawan. I mean, dengan kawan ni yang kawan yang ideally yang lebih kurang sama dengan apa yang you buat kan. Macam for me, I'm a front end developer, and then ada kawan tu dia buat mobile development, iOS, Flutter. I mean, it's somewhat the same. It's good. It's close enough. So when first time I know that he make like significantly more than me, like double my salary, I was like, why? Like that is like my first like but moment kan, macam kalau dia pun boleh buat, why not me kan. So that's when I started being more confident untuk minta double my salary from fresh grad lah. So time tu like fresh grad like 3k something, and then at that time dia same experience with me dapat double like 6k something. So I was like, why not me as well kan. So that's why I think it's very, like for me, I think it's very good for you guys to bincang, discuss lah salary at least, but tak adalah paksa kan, siapa yang selesa lah, sebab tak semua orang selesa kan. But yeah, because the main point is once you know what's possible, you're gonna be more confident. So that's why I always like to share, but not publicly lah. Tak adalah share my gaji. It's still a bit privacy kan. But knowing what's possible is powerful. That's the main point. Knowing what's possible really makes you more comfortable asking for whatever you want. So for example, sebab tu I always share my fresh grad salary also as well. Even when I'm sharing is I also say that that's not even the maximum. Like yang aku cakap tadi, aku starting 3.3, right? That's like average, I think. Or if I think it's average. Could be higher, could be lower, but yeah, if you know that fresh grad boleh dapat like 5k for example, and I've seen one of my colleague, she's a fresh grad dapat 5k, and I was like, damn, if I knew fresh grad dapat 5k before this, I would be a lot more confident to ask for. But again, knowing what's possible depends on the company juga. Kalau company tu memang, kalau local company susah sikit lah kot nak dapat that high sebab diorang pun budget tak banyak. But yeah, that's the, I guess, one of the advice lah kot. Try to discuss. And Malaysian pay gap is also nice, cuma don't look too much lah. Sometimes orang kata boleh jadi down juga. Tengok kan orang apa yang berapa belas tahun dah dapat gaji 13k and down juga kan kadang-kadang. Tapi itulah,
Betul,
at least know what. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Afri. That's a very good point that you're making. Yes, discuss this with your friends, discuss this with your colleagues. Kalau dorang nak bagilah. Kalau dorang tak nak bagi tahu, then jangan push dorang. Tapi like what Afri has done, my friend has done to me a lot as well. Aku suka bagi tahu dorang, okay, kalau aku pun boleh dapat ni, kenapa korang tak boleh? I mean, it's very bad to compare me against to compare themselves against me, tapi I'm just saying, okay, this is possible. You just need the time for it, you just need the confidence for it. Aku selalu public dengan kawan-kawan aku, dorang tanya aku, cakap je terus. Aku tak hide behind anything. Or with my mentee pun, I just tell them, because I know some of them, they kind of look up to me, and I'm telling them that it is possible. But at the same time, they also know me. Dorang tahu aku ni pemalas gila. Aku ni just slightly above average. If I can do it, everyone can. And at the same time, dorang tahu aku punya communication dekat office macam mana. They know I'm an introvert. Aku punya communication tu satu line. Orang tanya satu line jugalah aku jawab. So yeah, thank you, Afri, for sharing that. Yeah, that's a very good advice. It's not about showing off your salary, because if we want to show off our salary, orang tu akan beli barang yang dorang tak mampu beli. Dorang beli Rolex ke Lamborghini ke, that's showing off your salary. But to inspire people, to give them a benchmark, to help them during their journey, that's where that intention is coming from. And I believe Afri has a very good intention on trying to uplift the community, trying to uplift their friends, his friends, Okay. Again, thank you, Afri. All right, Ming, do share us your experience.
Okay, actually I was quite surprised lah. I think I'm not sure whether I click out the raise hand button. Actually I was invited lah in a way.
Yes, I invited. Sorry.
Okay, I'm not too okay about salary negotiations like you mentioned just now. Usually this scenario we do in a new company when we want to onboard a new company. So we actually negotiate our salary, right? But just want to share on the point of view that it's not necessarily a new company. Sometimes when we work in the same company and we give the right values, actually the current company would like to counter offer it with more higher salary lah. So in my case, I was counter offered with the same company because the way the contribution values lah back then lah. But there should be a balance whether you want to stay in the same company or you want to go to another company is a different story lah. Because sometimes SME provide higher salary, but the other parent company, the other like say MNC provide more package like insurance, like um more training, more exposure to the systems, and then sometimes systems comes with the best practices, so we don't have to try and error all those things lah. But just want to point out something that actually salary negotiation actually can be can be uh can occur in the same company when we actually provide more values lah. I
All
think
right.
it's over to you again.
Okay, Ming. Okay, so let's say the company can you have a lot of leverage in the company. Okay, they literally cannot let you go. They let you go, the company will make a loss within 3 months. Let's say they really cannot let you go. So you go for an interview, you got a job offer, and then you told your boss boss, I got a job offer. I think I'm going to leave because they have better pay. So how, in that case, would you deal with that situation?
In the context of if I leave, it will give a big the advantages lah to the current company, is it? For me, I will look for my own perspective first lah, because people are replaceable lah. So there's no such thing as I go, the company will bankrupt. In such way, people are very replaceable. It's just that what I'm looking for, I put my first priority lah. So whether a salary is the thing, then I work. I follow the path with the higher salary. But I think a salary is not everything. I think it comes with values lah. So for me, uh, if I were to in that situations, I would say I don't bother lah about the company itself lah. So it's just that if that's the case, so maybe there's a balance to it. If they need me to help in that certain period, in a period where they actually need to find my replacement, I will help. It's just that there should be a limit lah. Let's say I go to the new company, at the same time I give a certain time allocation per day for me to help in terms of the management. So I will help by a certain months lah, like 2 to 3 months as a maximum, so that they actually will be looking for my replacements. It's just that they need some room of error lah, a room of to breath, to make sure the management still can run as per usual.
All right. Thank you, Ming. Thank you. And I wish you all the best for your future interviews. And I wish you to make more money in the future. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll give the floor to Lokman now. Lokman, okay, opinions, questions, everything.
Hi, everybody. Assalamualaikum. Actually, I'm interested. Apa topik yang hari ni memang besok saya ada interview sebenarnya. So sebab saya pun dah lama tak pergi interview, so ada goyang-goyang jugalah kat situ. So nak tanyalah warga-warga dekat sini kalau opinion jugalah, sebab apa yang Tuan Norha Misa cakap tu pun macam it's a good tip, banyak benda juga. And then okay, my situation macam ni. Tomorrow tu actually it's a second interview. Means my first interview tu dah actually 1 month ago. And then the interviewer tu is a recruiter lah. She told me that my portfolio this is not IT tech punya. My side is more to industry. I experience in 3D visualizer lah. So saya rasa apa yang that recruiter tu cakap, they like my portfolio, and then the concern of them is a out of expected salary. Dia punya reason lah why they didn't apply me lah. now because inside the place that I want to interview tomorrow is I got my friend there is working there, so I got this information from him juga. So I try my luck, re-apply balik, as the interviewer, and then that's why they call me lah and give the reason why they didn't call me back lah. And then tomorrow I gonna meet their founder lah, their boss lah. So I believe tomorrow is the judgment day lah. It's a negotiation day. So macam I dengar yang tadi pada Cik Hafizan cakap, kalau company tu just nak macam tu saja, mungkin kita boleh buat yang skill yang letak unreasonable negotiation yang semua kan, just try je. Okay, I think that one is a good thing. Macam my suggestion, I think I memang actually desperate nak work in that studio. Sebab currently pun I working pun I not happy with it. Because memang I nak jump that studio lah, because of the opportunity in future juga lah. So at the same time, I'm worried about the expected one lah, because macam Cik Nur Hafizan cakap juga, Tuan Hafizan cakap, suka bunda-bundakan nombor tu. Let's say kalau I nak cakap, okay, let's say I want my salary 4K, tapi yang tu is a net salary. The rest tu maksudnya dia tak termasuk potongan ETF, so everything lah. So I don't know how it will going that side. And then kalau macam let's say kalau I don't know the game how to play lah that one, because kita pun I believe in my skill because I have been experienced in this industry. So I also study their website. The most of the portfolio there, that company also actually is my standardized lah, my can achieve lah. So I also takut juga kalau tiba-tiba mungkin diorang tak boleh, and then the job is go away. So a bit scared juga kat situ lah actually. Actually I'm desperate because my industry ni macam dah tak banyak dalam Malaysia ni nak apply. In outside of course ada banyak, tapi too many talented one lah, memang hebat-hebat lah. So I pun tak nak rasa stress benda-benda macam tu. Cuma for me, kalau I dapat that company macam start over back lah, because my previous company pun I kerja pun banyak downgrade. So I nak masuk company ni, dia akan macam recall back lah benda tu, macam get back on the track, macam tu lah. Sebab dalam bidang saya ni 3D ni saya tahu memang ada banyak macam as a 3D generalist ni ada banyak peluang pekerjaan, macam interior design, push industry, also in gaming. So tapi I belum ada banyak experience in that field, so I lebih kepada architecture. So
Okay.
that's why yang macam
Okay. So the apa position yang you apply?
as a 3D visualizer.
3D
architecture.
visualizer. So okay, so tomorrow you're going to speak with the founder, okay? Founder, diorang punya game, diorang punya mentality is very different. Founder punya mentality, diorang nak build the business, how you bring how you going to improve the business, and they focus more on the vision of the company. So that's founder. They also usually juggle between lots of tasks during day to day. They meet with different people. They have usually hopefully that you meet that kind of founder yang jenis yang open minded. So what you need to do is, first of all, you keep saying that you worry a lot, okay? That you worry a lot. So that let's kena buang tu dulu. Yang tu you kena buang dulu. You tak boleh masuk dalam meeting with a founder looking not confident. You cannot do that at all. Founder dorang meet with important people almost every day. You have to be that important people. You have to feel like that important people that he is going to meet tomorrow, okay? So, and then for founders, usually their what kind of mentality, that you know how to get your job done. That's the first thing, all right? The second thing is the value that you bring to the company. The third is the experience. The fourth is your attitude, especially what kind of attitude do you kind of carry bila kerja sebelum ni. Integrity, honesty, discipline, highlight all of those. Your value, apa yang you bring, you ada complete major project ke apa before this, you just cakap gebang dengan founder sebab founder pun suka cakap gebang. Founder suka cakap gebang sebab diorang perlukan funding. Now it's your turn to cakap gebang so that you get the job. So you have to walk into the office, founder punya office, as the important person that they will meet, and hopefully that will be that will at least give him a different perspective of yourself lah. And secondly, about salary, kalau you risau pasal salary, and you rasa macam industry is dying and you rasa susah nak dapat kerja kan, you have no choice but to play it safe, but not too safe, right? Not too safe. You have to also emphasize why you're doing this, why you're applying for their position. Because let's say you say you're desperate, don't use that word. Let's say I believe that your industry will be the future and I want to be a part of it. You have to sound like the visionary, just like the founder. The founder is a visionary kind of person. You have to be that kind of person as well tomorrow. So the first thing you have to do kan, hilangkan your worry. Winning mentality. That's all that you can do tomorrow. Okay,
Alright.
another important question for you right now untuk hilangkan your worry. Kalau you tak dapat kerja, hancur ke hidup you?
Tak hancur, tapi macam tak hancur lah. I still akan jadi job hunting juga, but it take times lah actually.
Okay, so if it takes time for you to go to another interview, you don't have to worry about it now. Don't worry about things that would not come. Don't cater. Jangan buat dia jadi macam satu bencana dalam hidup. So first hilangkan worry tu. You need to walk in. Bila you jumpa founder macam tu kan, you have to mimic their body language. You have to mimic their mentality. You have to be a visionary just like them. Because founder ada psycho sikit. Diorang expect pekerja diorang jadi macam business owner juga. Like as if it's visionary. So you have to mimic that kind of mentality when you meet with a founder. You have to be like what I said lah, be the important person that they will meet today. Alright, Lokman?
Thank you very much your advice. So tomorrow I need to be more to visionary guys.
Yeah.
Talk
Yes.
like more to like macam founder jugalah. So try cool down the worries thing lah.
Yes,
So
yes. Baju
I try my
pun elok-elok, smart-smart sikit.
best.
Alright, good luck, Lokman. We'll
Thank you very much.
wait for your good news. Alright.
Also, thank
Okay.
Thanks.
Next person, Zuan.
Hey, hi guys. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, memang like hari ni memang like belajar banyak like dari experience about saya baru like 1 tahun atau 2 tahun di industri ni. Memang belajar banyak. Thank you kepada host dan survey ni. So why I like pick up the mic, right, is like I kind of resonate. I mean, like from the few people that in front of me which want to pick up this mic to share about the salary, because like I just go through the job hunting process like last year after I graduated from USM, and then and for this past year I saw a lot like orang like mereka tanya berapa fresh grade like for now salary fresh grade. So I just want to share, because when I job hunting process I kind of asked quite a few quite a lot of people about this. And then like I want to share like what I get and then the data that I have lah. Okay. So the KL like right the KL I feel right. I mean like most of my friends graduates, I ask them right. Mostly is around like 5 to 6K around. And then that's but company to company MNC atau company yang overseas atau company yang lebih trendy lah mereka like more lebih modern punya company, lebih modern punya culture dan modern punya textile lah, macam tu lah. Dan yeah, yang lowest I heard also like 4K. I didn't heard any like lower than 4K. There's one, but he didn't have a good CGPA. It's like around like 2 point something or 3. And then lepas tu yeah, most of I heard is like 5 to 6K and 4K lah di KL fresh grade. Tetapi untuk company MSc overseas atau yang lebih modern, dan yeah, dan di Penang right, sebab saya orang Penang, the highest I heard is like from Intel fresh graduate like 4K, and Penang banyak mostly software engineer di Penang kan mereka like semiconductor factories, MNC from like Micron, Intel, AMD macam tu lah. So the like key side right, and then like their race is like 4K something. And then I heard like 3.5K, but I think it's like 4K something. Right now, like mostly what I heard is like 4K around. Yeah, in Penang, and then yeah, but I didn't hear anything higher than that. But I feel like KL is like really a lot of opportunities and for higher salaries for fresh grade. I even have friends like for get 7K in fresh grade, and yeah, 6 to 7K. Also, I have a few, and then but mostly it's 5 to 6K, and then I like for like 4, 5, 6 something like that. Yeah, yeah, that's what I share because yeah, just get inspired from like the few speaker depan saya. I feel like what they share is really nice. Just want to let more people know the salary. So like programmers, like pekerja, like don't get lowball. We know that our value is like around that. Just like yeah, then we won't go anything lower than that. And then yeah, intern 4.5K, right? Wow, okay, that's high. yeah. So yeah, like yeah, that's what I saw. Like mostly it's already 5K around for fresh grade in KL. 6K, 7K is possible. Yeah, then I feel like then sometimes I saw like there are people like kerja gaji like 3K something in KL. Then I was like maybe because I feel right before this when I look at the salary, I mean I started to trust like there's really salary out there which could pay that high, and then I started to go for it, and then that's where I really like get those offers. But before that, I was like, if I don't believe this, and then I may see something like who like offer me 3K something, then say I like already accept that. Yeah, so there's also something that important that yeah, like I resonate a lot. Like need to know the market data, something like that. Yeah. And also, I want one reason saya pick up mic ni nak tanya macam mana host belajar like upskill yourself the past working hour. So like you like gaji 20K 30K to memang wow something like I want to be in the future, but I want to know like memang I need to like belajar. How can I upskill myself using my time after working hours? Any suggestions? Like what do you go through? Yeah, nak belajar macam ni. Yeah.
Okay. Like I've mentioned before, I go through a very weird career path. I don't take the safe path. During my 20s, okay, I use my career as a gamble. You know, I gamble each time, not in terms of money, but in terms of the skill that's being offered. So what do I mean by this? I gamble a lot with my career by looking at small companies, at startups, building things, and as well as building building products. So for my first job, I was 3 months sahaja for 2.8K, 3 months. I was the project manager, I was the QA, I was the programmer, back end, front end, as well as meeting the client CEO. I was doing that, but it was too much for me, so I quit Okay, within 3 months. That was in Taipan. So I quit and then I joined Hokenso for about two years plus. 2 years plus, where I learned a lot working within a team, working within a big team, understanding the process, and it was quite a tedious programming skill set, that programming day-to-day job that I have during that time. So I try to learn within the context. So let's say imagine if I was in prison, but the only learning resource is the newspaper that I get every month. So from the newspaper that I get every month, I try to learn whatever it is. So let's say during my first 6 months of that company, the build process from coding to actually compiling it to the iOS emulator, it was so long. It takes around 10 to 15 minutes per build. Yes, it has hot reload, but the first build is paling sakit lah. So I try to learn on how to make the build more efficient, such that it takes around 1 to 5 minutes only per build. That's already on my resume. And then I also collaborate with a lot of juniors during that time, collaborate with other seniors on how the programming should work or the architecture of things. That's also on my resume. I've also had the chance to work in Singapore for some time during that within that company, because the product expanded to Singapore, so we were to go to Singapore to work there. Also on my resume. So after that 2 years, with that company, I also got counter offered so much. I went to interviews and then go to my boss. And actually, at one point, I wanted to quit because I was so burned out with the job there. I started my work at 11 a.m., go back the next day at 5 a.m. So imagine that the burnout level is very high. So I got counter offered, and my salary that time increased, I think 3.2 or 3.5 from that number to 4.4 or 4.5. So back then I don't have a lot of leverage going on there. And then every time there's a salary review, they give me a number, I give another number back. So I always do that as well. So that's my second company. And then when I actually wanted to quit, I looked for startup with their own product, or actually software studios. So I work with a telemedicine company after that, like a very short time, 8 months. But I didn't have much say, I didn't have much to do. So I moved to another company. So another company, the person approached me to do a part-time job, and it was very, very low. So I proposed to him, okay, since you're pretty much serious about this product, why don't you give me this much budget and I will build a team for you. So that's during my third year of career. I will build a team for you and I will build this product for you. So I got that job. I started working from home. That was pre-COVID. I started working from home. I built a team from 2 people to 7 people, and we've launched multiple products during that time. That is also on my resume. But along this period, right, during the telemedicine company, I quit not just because I didn't have much to do, but because the company didn't also going to run out of their runway. They're going to have no funding soon. That was risky for me to accept that job, but I took it anyway because of the opportunity to learn. The other and then the next company, yes, I approached the person with my proposal, but that was also very, 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 very risky of me to do that, because I actually lost my job. That was my previous company. I actually lost my job, but the experience of building multiple products, the experience of, because it's also a studio, and we also work with different multiple clients to keep ourselves self-sustained. We don't make a lot of money within that company, but I do have a lot of controlling power over the tech. I have control over the architecture, whether I want to use GCP, whether I want to use Firebase, whether I want to use AWS. It depends on the client's needs. I am the one who architect the the solutions. I am the one giving reviews for UI UX. I am the one doing the code reviews. I am the one mentoring juniors. So I've grown from 2 people to 7 people. And then the funding starts to go down, and eventually I had to leave. I had to leave the company with 3 months back pay. And then so during this period of time, from my previous company to my first company, I've built up my skill so much that I've actually burned out my 20s, and I'm ready to move on with my work-life balance phase. So during my work-life balance phase, I actually know the value of what I can bring to a company. You want me to mentor a junior heavy team? I can do that. I can make them efficient. I can teach them things that they probably haven't seen before. I can make your product be more cost efficient, because cost is always in my consideration whenever I build something. So I learned all this skill. I learned the soft skill. I learned the technical skill. I learned the product skill. I learned management skill. So I have all of this. I can't say I'm a master of all, but I know just about everything that's involving a team, right? And I make use of that when people are looking for lead software engineer. Lead software engineer, okay. What do you want? What do you usually, do you know what's the process when I interview? It's not like when I was an individual contributor anymore. The interview is entirely different. The questions that I ask: what's the budget for this team? What's the runway for the company? How long is the project timeline? How many users do you have currently? Do you have any kind of people that you've handpicked for the team? And then what kind of composition of the team that you want? So the interview shifts entirely different when you're getting a lot more years of experience, especially with a lead kind of skill. You are not just offering yourself, you are offering a full team. So imagine yourself in a company, a military company, and you are the squad leader. You have people that you trust or people that you don't trust, that you have to make them trust you, and then work together, collaborate, build a product within the set of timeline that they give, within the budget that they give per month. That's an entirely different skill and value that you bring to the company. So that's what I've learned. I don't learn just the technical skill. Everyone can learn technical skill. I have a set of technical skill. Let's say I focus more on Vue.js instead of React. But if someone give me 6 months to learn React.js, do you think I will fail learning React.js? No, I will not. I have more experience with Google GCP than AWS. If someone tells me, oh, we're going to use AWS, can you handle that? Is that impossible for me to achieve in 6 months? No, it's not. Probably can achieve it in 1 month. So try to build, how you build your career, build it holistically rather than just a single point. So when you actually is on a negotiation table, you bring a lot more. You bring a lot more than the rest of the candidates. Do you know the kind of competitions that you have amongst the other candidates? The other candidates have this tech skill, have these certificates, have these qualifications, have joined this, joined that, GitHub all green. I don't have all that. I don't have like official certificate from anywhere. I probably just joined simple hackathons. I was just a committee during university. I don't do much on my resume. But the thing is, I have proven track record of the things that I've done, and I tell them, hey, this is what I bring to the table. Do you want me or not? That's how I live throughout my 20s. That's how I live throughout my 20s. I've truly burned out my 20s. At the same time, I've also done freelancing job, but usually I don't mention about my freelance to interviewers. So yeah, try to build your career holistically rather than just focusing on one area. Okay, Zwan, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Thanks. I get back. Yeah, helps a lot. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay. So I think thank you everyone for attending. I think that's all we can do for today because it's already lunchtime. And thank you for attending. I hope you get a lot from this Dev Talk stage. And I hope to see you guys again next week. I don't know what topic I'm going to talk about next week, but I'll probably say something, okay, just to motivate you guys. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you all. Thank you, Zwan. Thank you, Lokman. Thank you, Bell. Thank you, Afri. Thank you, Ming. Oh, was quite a lot today. Thank you guys. All right. See you guys on the next session. Bye bye.